Hi guys, welcome back to everyone that's been supporting so far, and hello to any new people that are coming across my page. I don't even feel like this type of topic I should be all peppy and whatnot because it's a topic very close to my heart. And I apologise about the video quality because I literally just watched this and thought, no, I need to speak on it straight away. So if you're here thinking, oh my god, this girl's video quality is bad, please click off the video because there's bigger issues to worry about in this world. But if you do actually care about these issues, please do stay and listen to what I have to say. If you're someone who's had similar experiences or different, or someone who's looking to get educated about race, then, hopefully you like what I have to say. So throughout this video, I'm basically going to be showing clips from the documentary and then be expressing my opinions and my experiences within them. And guys, if you have similar experiences or anything to say, please do comment. I know this is an uncomfortable conversation for some, but you know what? It's been uncomfortable all my life, and for many's out there, and you have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. So be uncomfortable and get comfortable with us. It's time for change. Not for myself, but for you, for me, for our ancestors, for our kids. It's time. So basically on Channel 4 there's a documentary called The School That Tried to End Racism, and it's about an experience in a school in South London with kids of just different races, talking about their experiences and being faced with different challenges. So for me, I never realised personally how much I've suppressed my own feelings and experiences in regards to racism, and it kind of highlighted that it really does start from young.
If you don't educate them in these issues, you'll never have a fully inclusive society further down the line.
I really do fear for my daughter in terms of the way society is with racism. I mean, I can't even say if it's gotten better or worse because it's still around. So, and racism is just a hateful thing in general. So to say it's progressed or whatnot, I really don't know, because for me personally, I feel like it's become more brushed under the carpet and segregated, especially being able to work now, or you're seeing all these BAME schemes, like black, Asian, minority, ethnic groups. First of all, why are we all clumped into one category? We are different. And it's just a way of being we have this amount of people for diversity in our companies. Let's slap them in one position so it's easier to identify. And it just sets us back even more. It's like taking 10 steps forward and 20 steps back. It's so frustrating because I don't want to be this token black girl for your statistics. It's just I want to just be myself. I remember going to speak to some guy he had a high profile, and telling him about my struggles kind of in terms of getting a job after uni, and he said, you fit the character, exactly what most companies want. You're female, you're exotic, I hate that term, you're of a mixed background, and that's what they're looking for. And I just thought, so it's not even because of myself, it's because I fit their quotas. We need to stop that shit. Everyone needs to be screened in the same manner because of what you have to offer, not because of what you are.
But actually our actions or our decision making might contradict what comes out of our mouths.
A class of 11-year-olds in their first year at secondary school have volunteered to take part in a 3-week program designed to reduce racial bias.
Let's go in.
This is the first time a program of its kind has been trialled in the UK school. If successful, the school's ambition is to build it into the curriculum.
Research shows that for 11-year-olds, making friends from different racial groups is easy. But we know that as children get older, it's a different story. they start to become more aware of ethnic differences, and this starts to result in a process of self-segregation, when children split off into different friendship groups on the basis of their ethnicity. Intervening at this age is crucial if we're to target and change children's attitudes before they become crystallised in adulthood.
I went to school in a predominantly white area. There wasn't much culture, like mixed cultures back then at the time. And I remember feeling like shit when I was in school. I was friends with 7 other black girls. And you want to know why I specifically know that there were 7 other black girls? Because we were the only 7 black girls in our whole year group. And sitting here reflecting back on it, we weren't friends by choice. We were friends by force because out of a year group, we would look weird. It would look like, why is she over there chilling with these girls or this and that? So it was kind of like we had to stay together just so that it didn't look weird.
I don't know. If I had the choice, I would be with my friends, not just by race, because that feels awful.
Based on my past childhood traumas, I feel like I've definitely brought that bias into my adult life, and it still continues, sadly enough. And especially, like, you know, in employment, where I'm very defensive about who I'm working with. I'm like, subconsciously, I'm like, oh, okay, where's the other black person, or where's this? But it shouldn't be like that. So it's like I'm contradicting myself. I just said at the beginning of the video, I was with my friends in high school by force, not choice, because we were the only black people. So now when I go into work, I'm trying to look for comfort in the black people, but it's not by force that we're going to get along because we're both black. So it's for me to give other races a chance and not just look for skin colour to be similar. So we all do it. Like, you can be sitting here thinking she's chatting shit, but at some point you have done it. You've looked for comfortability by associating yourself because they had the same skin colour as you.
Showed that you have an unconscious bias, and the majority of the class showed an unconscious bias towards white people.
We usually think of a white person with better connotations. We don't necessarily think that black people have bad connotations. It's just we find it easier to have good connotations with white people. I don't really know if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
We are exposed from an early age to white people in positions of power, white heroes and heroines. All of these influences tell us that white people are better than black and minority ethnic people in society.
The way history was taught to me in schools or just growing up, I used to think, like, they had me thinking black people were just bums, like, didn't do nothing, and it was only white people that could see that were successful. So for me, it was massively overwhelming when I'm seeing, you know, there's so many great black-owned businesses out there, and there's been so many black people that have contributed to massive parts in history. My own granddad being one of them, like, he's part of the reason that Notting Hill Carnival was around. He was part of, you know, my grandparents part of the Windrush generation, but that shit was not spoken about in school. So do you know how conflicting it is being grown in my 20s now, finding all of this out? It's like a major clash to your identity. It's like all going boom onto you because, like, 20 something years of your life, you know, you've been made to believe British history or white history is the most superior history. Anything else is kind of void, and it's all been imposed onto us. So there's a cultural identity crisis there, because how can you affiliate with a culture or a history that doesn't belong to you?
I never knew this about myself, that maybe I prefer Caucasian people more than another race, but I never had any idea.
I know that they say not to feel bad about it, but you still feel bad about it.
When she was quite little, she used to say she didn't want to be brown, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
She has been dealing with quite a lot recently is about her own identity, like who she is. I think she has been finding that quite confusing.
I used to look at like the magazines, and I was just like all white, beautiful white women at the front of the covers, and everyone was white. And I just thought, I'm not pretty. I just thought this is the only way to be pretty is to be white.
I remember when I was younger, I used to be so self-hating. I would look in the mirror and be like, I'm actually so ugly. I want to be white. Why is my hair curly? I want it to be straight like these white girls. And there was times in high school, that's like when I really was going through that phase, was I would straighten my hair, straighten my hair. I ruined my curls, like my beautiful curls, just so that I could appear to look more Caucasian. And in the end, it was me that ended up hurt because now I'm paying the repercussions years later. So trying to, amend the hair that I broke. And that was like over 7 years ago.
And we're going to talk about the close of our last session. We got asked the question, have you ever wanted to be a different race or ethnicity? Okay, and a few of the students said that they had thought about it. What are your concerns about being your identity?
You might feel like you might be the odd one out just because of like your skin color or what you believe in.
Good, Farah.
If you try to fit in, people are going to think, people are going to think that you're not being yourself, and they're going to be like, oh, what are you doing? You can't be like us. But then if you be different, people are going to pick on you saying, oh, why are you so different? You shouldn't be different. You should be like us. So sometimes I feel like you just cannot win.
I remember even trying to talk different sometimes, which felt so unnatural to me, just so that I could feel like I was fitting in by using like the lingo that they use maybe, or I was scared that I was coming across aggressive. But even when I was speaking in their mannerism, I was still looking aggressive. So there was no winning, and it just was like the worst. Knowing you're being yourself, it's being rejected. You try fitting with them, it's being rejected. So it's like, where do you stand with that?
All right, why don't we start here?
It's always the white person being racist. And sometimes I feel like I don't want to say something because the second we say something or someone gets offended by something we said, we'll get called racist.
To be honest, I feel like this is a really good point because it is portrayed that only white people can be racist. But in all honesty, anyone and everyone can be racist. Race doesn't just happen to people of ethnic backgrounds, it happens to everyone. Roles can be reversed. That doesn't mean I'm defending it or trying to reject, that it does happen more so to people of ethnic backgrounds, but it can also happen.
If, say, for example, if you're just not friends with someone that is a different race to you, we're automatically called racist. You shouldn't be friends with someone, let's say, of colour just because you don't want to be racist. But also, you shouldn't be too free around them because we don't want you to overdo it. So, like, oh, I love the way you look, I love your skin, like, I'm not racist, like, I would never be racist to you, I'm never going to ask about your ethnicity. Like, then we're just going to think you're weird.
You said that you'd rather not speak about the ethnicity. But so would it be wrong just to ask them?
No, I think that just like ask in a respectful way, not so you don't obviously, but like ask in a respectful way so it doesn't seem like you're being patronizing or making fun of them. Sometimes, people can take it the wrong way if people are over asking and almost like overexcited about it because they'll just think, I get you want to know about my race, but like, calm down.
This is great.
And I do agree with this girl's point about asking a question. Like, there is ways to ask. Like, I moved from London, which is so multicultural, to a predominantly kind of middle class white area in the countryside. And I've been an outcast here. Me, when I take Jamila to playgroups, I'm the only black person there. Jamila's the only brown baby in there, and it's just like we stick out like a sore thumb. And you know, people wanting to be asked questions. I had one guy who did ask me questions, and it's just like so ignorant. Like the first thing I was asked, "Oh, can you make jerk chicken?" Number one, I'm not Jamaican, and two, why is that the first thing that you assume because of the color of my skin? It's so frustrating. Like, I don't go around asking, do you make fish and chips kind of thing. Like, so it's just wrong to put a stereotype on me just because of my skin color.
Quite often the UK likes to pride itself as having really rich equalities legislation, but yet we still see inequalities by ethnic group.
Ethnic minorities make up 14% of the British population, but they account for only 2% of company directors and just 8% of MPs. Yet over 25% of people in prison are black.
And this pervades every aspect of British society, including education, housing, employment, the criminal justice system, and so on.
Are going to be running a race. However, your starting position in this race will be decided by the answers to questions that we are going to be asking you.
Sorry, what?
It's a joke.
This activity is intended to explore how society favours one race over others.
People often confuse white privilege with being wealthy or being rich, and it isn't about that. What it's about is the absence of having to live with the consequences of racism.
Now, if the question applies to you, you will take a big step forward. If the answer to the question doesn't apply to you, you stay where you are.
I better win, man. Oh.
Okay, make sure you're on the start line. I see some cheaters already.
Yeah,
Feet behind the line.
If English is your parents' first language, take a step forward.
Oh, yeah.
If you have ever been the only person in the room of your race, take a step backwards.
For God's sake!
If you've never been asked where you come from, take a step forward.
If you have never had to be worried about your family being stopped and searched, take a step forward.
I'm not worried about if people ask me to stop and search.
The divide widens, and the inequality of their position becomes clear.
This is just like not fair now.
Farah. Never so wide. Never so wide. It's unfair.
The last question. If your parents have ever warned you about racism, take a step backwards.
If we were about to start a race, is this a fair starting point for us all? No! Mackay, how do you feel standing there in the field of runners?
I kind of feel a bit alone. I can't really see. I'm literally just by myself, more or less. I'm just a bit frustrated and annoyed that society nowadays really isn't fair. And I just wish everybody could be equal.
Farah!
It's kind of frustrating that, like, me and Sarah are just standing at the back here while the majority of people who may be white are, like, standing right at the front. That just frustrates me a bit, because it's almost as in what society is today. I don't want this to be how it is, but it is, so it just gets a bit frustrating.
Henry, how are you feeling being right at the very front?
It feels quite weird, because if you think about it, I think all of us should be at the same point, but sadly the questions, the way that they were put didn't favour some people, which I think is quite unfair.
On your mark. Get set. Go! didn't seem to be when you all finished. There wasn't this kind of mass celebration and mass, I won. Why?
Kind of felt like a really racist sports day.
This part of the video really hits hard for me. Like, and I know it probably hits hard for a lot of you out there as well. Because these are just simple questions that people don't even second guess. But for us, it's a huge question, like, that we have to approach with strategy. It's not just one we can go out and, you know, be like, oh, it is what it is. And it's just that, why is it like that? Why do we have to work 10 times harder? From when you're young, your parents always kind of tell you, you've got to work harder than this person. You've got to work harder than Harry or Lucy. And, you know, you're young and you're thinking, but why? Why do I have to do the hard work? Why is it that us as kids, or these kids, why is it that they have to do the hard work? Why can't they just live like normal, have a normal childhood without this added pressure? But thank you for watching, guys. I know it's been quite like a touchy subject. For me, it's even been hard to kind of articulate my words or even say this stuff out loud, because it's painful. Like, I literally have this like weird feeling in my chest. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed or learnt something from the video. And what I would really like from this is if you could comment below about any similar experiences. I want to actually have a discussion, not just with black people, but people of all different races about this, and hopefully eventually come together and we actually talk. Similar to this documentary style, we talk about our issues and our experiences. It needs to be a conversation. Anyways, guys, I've been tired, but I've also been passionate, so I'm firm in it, staying awake to record this. But I hope you subscribe, like, share, comment, and I will see you on the next video. Hoping it will be more of a cheery topic, but we live in this weird society, so